Okay, you've probably been hearing a lot about overstriding, or the recommendation that you should not work to increase your stride length. They say if you increase your stride length, you will then be overstriding and landing on your heel, and that's going to create a lot of problems. Well, in a way this is true if you don't have proper running technique. This is the key. And it's a shame that we're not looking at the total picture of running technique. We only isolate one little aspect of it, get a misconception of it, develop a myth, and then perpetuate it. And it's exactly what we're doing with overstriding. I have yet to see many people truly overstride. Overstride, according to its definition, means taking a longer than your normal stride. Most runners don't even achieve their, let's say, normal or optimal. That's probably the better word here. Most runners do not achieve their optimal stride. And if you want to increase speed, the first thing you should do is increase your stride length, not stride frequency. Stride frequency is much more energy consuming and much more difficult. You're going to run out of gas a lot quicker. Stride length is the main factor to improve your running speed. Now, how can this be? Let me explain. The first key factor is that knee drive. You want to drive that thigh forward. After the push-off, you drive the thigh forward. The more forcefully you drive the thigh forward, the more forward momentum you're creating, and the more you can reach forward. So after the thigh comes forward, you swing out the shin, and then, and this is the most important factor, then you bring the leg back and down to contact the ground. You don't swing the leg out and leave it there. This is improper technique. And of course you will land on the heel when you do this. But this is not how you run. You don't just drive the knee forward and swing the leg out and land on the ground. If you did, man, you'd feel it jarring right through your teeth. So why do that? You have to bring the leg back and down, the paw back. This is what we see lacking all the time. Runners do not bring the leg back to, in essence, affect a good, safe landing. And at the same time, once you bring the leg back, when you land on the ground, you're propelling your upper body forward. This is where you're getting more speed. But if you just land on the ground, you have to generate more force to get your body going in front. And we shouldn't listen to many of these different methods of running that have been popularized. How they say that gravity is going to be the propelling force. Gravity is not involved to push you forward. Gravity is pushing you down all the time. You have to generate muscle force to push yourself forward. You can't rely on gravity. You rely on gravity, you're going to be the slowest man in the race. Instead of 3 hours for a marathon, you're going to be coming in at 6 hours. If even that, maybe longer. So, back to the original overstriding. Overstriding has been used in many different ways. Now its definition is, if you land on your heel, you're overstriding. If you land in front of your body, you're overstriding. But nobody ever talks about what the optimal stride is. How do you know if you're overstriding? I can show you runners that land on their heel 12 inches in front of the body. Is this overstriding? How can this be overstriding? Now you should land, as close to the center of gravity of the body as possible. In other words, see, when you bring the leg back, that's when you're going to land close to the center of gravity of the body, or more or less close to underneath the body. But all long distance runners land somewhat in front. Only a sprinter can land underneath the body. Why? Because he has a more forceful paw back. They drive the thigh forward more forcefully, they reach out further, and they have the maximum stride length. Once they reach out, they really whip that leg down and back. It's a very forceful action. So once that leg hits the ground, it's already underneath the body, and that upper body is propelled forward. But a long-distance runner, it's a little slower. We don't have the same forces. But the same concept applies. Drive the thigh forward, swing the lower leg out, pull the leg back, land on the ground, the upper body comes forward, push off, repeat. So there's no such thing as overstriding. Find your optimal stride length, and if you want to run faster, increase your stride length. But still incorporate the paw back. In this way, you'll be able to do both. You'll run faster with a longer stride length. It's a heck of a lot simpler and easier than trying to just run faster. Or don't listen to the recommendation to increase your stride frequency. Run faster, take short, choppy steps. No, you don't want to do this. Long, easy steps. But a good stride will get you there a lot faster.